Okay, we shall begin right now. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining this call today. Over the last few years, with growing interest in the insurance policy, we've had this discussion with Zopa to launch a super top-up insurance policy for our alumni members. It is definitely a one-of-a-kind policy. It is custom made for IIT Madras alumni. Of course, Zopa does have other alumni associations that they work with for the super topper policy, but this one is definitely separate and made with many other benefits from what the other policies that they have going on. So I don't want to take much time of yours. I'm going to introduce to you Mr. Budayan Paul. He is the business head of Zopa, and he comes with more than 25 years of experience in this insurance area, and he's going to clear and explain all your doubts you have today. And as we speak, the link will also be put in where you can enroll yourself. I also want to let you know that this scheme is a little different from other schemes. It is not something that's open through the year because it is a group scheme for IIT Madras Alumni Association. The last day to enroll is 23rd August. And it's good to have a buffer of a couple of days. You'll get to know why as the call goes on. So over to you, Budayan. Welcome and thank you for joining.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nishani, for the wonderful introduction, as always. And so I have, people from my team as well, and my colleagues from the technology and the product team as well. So I have Manisha, who's the director of engineering, who's joined. I have, she's played a key role. She and her team has played a key role on the developing the tech platform on which we are enrolling ourselves. I also have Rohit with me, who is the product manager, who has basically driven this on the product side. And then Monica, Sujit, and Divya, and Mohit, who are part of my colleagues and part of my team. Now, we also have Saurav from the engineering team. So having said that, that's a brief introduction. Now, quickly about introducing about myself, I can say good amount of 48 participants, whom I can see. So, the time that you're investing.
So, Diane, can you speak a little louder? Even for me, it's a little low.
Yeah. Can you hear me properly now?
A little bit. I mean, I can.
Is there an issue? Is anybody else is having a hearing issue?
I can hear properly, Nishan.
Okay, great. Let's.
Okay, right. Thanks. Ideally, all of you who have joined basically for today's session, first of all, thank you for your time, and whatever time that you're going to invest here is going to be a wise one. That's the starting point of the presentation. We had a session a couple of days back. We are again having a session today, and we will have some sessions down the line as well, because we know that if you couldn't have made time earlier, you would come and join on these subsequent sessions. The idea the idea was conceived on IIT Madras coming up with a super topper program for the alumni was that Alumni Association of IIT Madras was trying to look at higher sum insured as coverages because of the medical inflations being high, and we normally don't look at higher coverages at our end. And also look at an inclusive program wherein, barring the negative list that is there, other than that, if we are able to take everybody else in the family, including parents, including in-laws. So ideally, the kind of a product which has got designed for you all to understand would be that this is not there in the market. If you go to any B2C kind of a platform, there are many, and you will see that the first thing that we would want to compare it as on a rate. But when you do that, please do on an apple to apple comparison. The rates are very cheap here as well. But there the pre-existing disease wait periods would be higher. There would be medical underwriting to be done, the medical checkups to be done. So when you look at all these things, you can't bring in your parents and in-laws at the same point of time. Then there are a lot of age restrictions involved in it. So when you look at the kind of product that we have designed and then we have got it built for IIT Madras is something really good, and it takes in a lot of people. It's an inclusive program. Now, having said that, there is a concept of sustainability which also comes in, that the product that we bring in this year should sustain year after year. And that is the reason why we have come in with a negative list, which was broadly discussed across multiple times with the insurance company. And then where we understood that these are the ones where if anybody is already having any of these negative list diseases, do not get an entry into the program. And that's also a safeguard to everyone else in the program. However, if anybody contracts any of the critical illnesses, they do continue to remain in the program. That goes unsaid. But the point is that you don't subsidize for anybody else, and the program runs on a sustainability model. So having said that, quickly, I would want to share my screen and take you along to the presentation. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, it's visible, Vedant.
Okay. Thanks for the confirmation. So ideally, what we are going to talk about today is basically the product and the ways to enroll. So we will also showcase a demonstration to you in terms of the platform, which is there. So now quickly moving on. So basically, the program that we have is a super top-up program, and I saw a pointer coming up where one of the questions was on what is a base health or a super top-up or a deductible. So a base health insurance program is basically something that is your first level of insurance. That might be through your employer, might be through the existing program of IIT Madras on the base health insurance side. And that is the first insurance program that you would look up to as your first level of go-to insurance program. Then there is a top-up and a super top-up. Our program for IIT Madras Alumni Association is a super top-up program. And a super top-up program basically scores much way above a top-up program, because in case of a top-up program, the deductible in the program needs to be crossed multiple times or every time of the claim amount in the claim amount. And in case of a super top-up program, the deductible needs to be crossed only once in the policy year. So next, the subsequent question comes in is, what is this deductible that Bodhang is talking about? Deductible is basically the amount that you choose up to which your policy is not going to trigger. So in order to bring in a balance of the rate and in order to ensure that this acts as a super top-up program, so if you are covered, say, for 5 lakhs in your base health insurance program, you can pick a deductible of 5 lakhs here and maybe pick a sum insured of 1 crore, which means that you will be covered up to 1 crore in your super top-up program, but the deductible being 5 lakhs is, so for the first 5 lakhs in your claim or in the first claim of the subsequent policy year, the deductible needs to be crossed through your base health program or needs to be paid by your pocket. You submit the payment proofs and then this super top-up program triggers. Beyond 5 lakhs, all your subsequent claims can flow into this program, and this basically becomes your second layer of safety net. Now, the reason behind why it is designed in a way that you can start with a sum insured of 10 lakhs and go up to the maximum possible limit beyond 80 and a crore is very simple. That in today's world, we have seen cases also in certain alumni associations where a 38-year-old gentleman gets hospitalized post-COVID, complications came into the picture, and a 55 lakh bill came out. They had to raise funds from the alumni association just to support, and then the insurance program which was there also supported that alumni. So when you look at the medical inflation is basically the cost of an ailment this year vis-a-vis the cost of an ailment next year is roughly between 20 to 25%, depending on the city. Currently, I am sitting in Mumbai and looking at the range. Mumbai has a medical inflation of 30% upwards. I belong to a city called Delhi, where is my base location. Delhi, where the medical inflation is roughly 25%. You go to Kolkata, it's around 15 to 18%. So city to city, it would vary. Roughly, say 20% is your medical inflation. The cost of an ailment is, if it is 1 lakh, it would be 1 lakh 20 or 1 lakh 25 or 1 lakh 30, depending on the city where you are pertaining to. Now, when you look at the medical costs going up and when you look at what kind of available insurance options are there, people normally look at a base insurance program. So when you ask a subsequent question, people will say, yeah, I'm covered for insurance. But when you ask up to what level or up to what limit you are covered for insurance, is where, people start thinking, oh, I am covered for 3 lakhs or 4 lakhs or 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs. Is that enough? Is the question. Ask yourself if whatever you are covered for, is it enough? And if you even if you don't have insurance, you can still opt into a super topper program. Maybe 3, 4, 5 lakhs, 7 lakhs you can pay from your pocket. What if the bill goes to 50 lakhs? Would we sell our houses, our cars, and everything, and then come into an avail hospital benefit? So if you look at and also certain things that you should look at when you're coming into the program is the early you get into an insurance program and continue with it, the best. So given a chance, if you are given a chance and if you have a chance today to get into this super topper program and you do not belong to any of the negative lists or none of your family member belongs, if one of your family member belongs, we would not be able to cover them. But if you as an alumni or if I as an alumni have any of the negative list diseases, I will not be able to bring in anybody because this is a primary insurance program where the alumni is the primary person. Now, having said that, the earliest age possible, please do get into these kind of insurance programs because then once you cross the pre-existing disease wait period, that's when you're like covered completely. The pre-existing disease wait periods and all, I'll come quickly onto that in the next slide. But the point that I'm trying to tell you across is also another point that why IIT Madras Alumni Association Super Top Up Group Super Top Up program is different because it is completely run with technology. There's a tech platform at the back end where one of my colleagues in some time will showcase to you how to enroll yourself into the program. And I could hear Nishani talking about the last date of enrollment. You have to understand one point is that though there is a last date of enrollment of 23rd or 24th of August, if you enroll today and you don't have any pre-existing diseases as a declaration, you will get the policy today. Now, if you have any pre-existing disease which is declared, you will get the policy in 4 to 5 days. The policy will come to your email ID in 4 to 5 days. In the other alumni insurance programs, they had to wait for the entire period of enrollment, which was 1 month, and after that they started getting policies. Now the idea is we don't know when we would need our PED wait periods to get over. So if I have a chance to get into the program today, let me get into the program today. Let me not wait for the last minute because it's not going to help. The rates are going to remain the same. You come into the program, you get your policy, your policy starts from today. Somebody gets into the program a month later, that person's policy starts from a month later, which means that I am a month ahead in terms of crossing the pre-existing disease wait period of 1 year. Having said that, so this is the bottom line. The sooner you get into the program, it is better for you. The sooner we cross the wait period, it is better for us. Now, once I talked about a super topper program, I've also explained what is a deductible. So basically, now if you look at, I talked about the difference between a top up and a super top up as well. That in the case of a top up, if you look at the example, so case 1 is an example which says, and the scenario example that a person A and a person B, both of them, the person A has a top up of 10 lakhs with a 5 lakh as deductible. And in scenario B, the person B has a super top up of 10 lakhs with a deductible of 5 lakhs. Now, if you look at the case 1, 2, and 3 coming in, the first claim comes in of 12 lakhs, which means that barring 5 lakhs is deductible, 7 lakhs will get paid from the top up, 7 lakhs will also get paid from the super top up. Now, in your mind, you would be questioning whatever Bodhayan said. I'm not able to understand in terms of in the earlier slide the difference between top up and super top up. Hence this example. Now look at case 2. There are 2 claims of 4 lakhs each. So the base plan will cover 4 lakhs in case of first claim. Base plan will cover 1 lakh in the case of second claim because of the limit of 5 lakhs. Now patient to pay balance 3 lakhs on second claim on the top up. But if you look at the super top up picks up the 3 lakhs balance which needs to be paid. Now case 3, a claim of 7 lakhs comes in and a claim of 4 lakhs comes in. The base plan is going to cover 5 lakhs. Top up plan will pick up 2 lakhs. Patient to pay 4 lakhs for the second claim because the second claim is 4 lakhs and it has not crossed 5 lakhs, which is the deductible. Hence, the entire amount will not get paid and the patient will have to bear that amount. The moment you look at a super top up, you will see that super top up picks up the balance 4 lakhs as well. This is exactly what I said, that if you do have a chance to get into a super top up program, please do get into a super top up program because beyond you need to cross the deductible only once across the policy period, which is your 1 year. And after that, this acts like your base insurance program. Now, if you look at the kind of coverages that we have, so I will quickly pause the sharing here and ask Monica to subsequently share the brochure of the Super Top of Health Insurance Program.
Sure, I'll just share it.
Yeah. And on the brochure, we are going to talk about certain policy conditions. As Monica is bringing up, one of the key policy conditions is the age bracket, which is 18 to 85. That is completely phenomenal. I would say that I can bring in my family, myself, my parents up to the entry age up to 85. Children can come in from 91 days to 24 years, and obviously parent-in-laws also from 51 to 85, parents and parents-in-laws. Now, Monica, can you slightly bring it up? If you look at the family definition, I talked about earlier, self, spouse. Self is the alumni. Alumni, spouse, up to 4 children, up to 2 parents, and up to 2 parent-in-laws. The entire program can bring in all of this entire definition. But what needs to be understood is there are 3 policy definitions for the sake of understanding. The first policy definition is the alumni, spouse, and the kids, or the whatever number of children that we have. The second policy definition is up to 2 parents, and the third policy definition is up to 2 parent-in-law. So these 3 policy combinations part of the same program. Now, what is interesting, if you go and buy this kind of a program, first of all, you will not get a program which will not allow you to get in without a medical checkup. In this case, there is no medical checkup required. There is a cashless facility. There is a reimbursement facility. Available sum insureds range from 10 lakhs and go up to 1 crore. And deductibles are 3, 5, 7, and 10. You should choose your deductible based on your existing insurance coverage. If you do not have any existing insurance coverage, please go for the lowest deductible. If you are adequately covered on a 3 or a 5, please choose it wisely. Deepak ji asked earlier that can I choose a higher deductible? Yes, you can. If you are able to take care of on the base thing, please do take care on the base part, but choose a deductible wisely. And always keep a buffer. Choose a slightly lower deductible than what you are covered for, because in certain cases, many of the costs do not get covered on your base program, which might move on to your super top up program. Now, what is again very interesting is the room rent definition. The room rent definition in this case is the alumni can get into any kind of room except suite for both normal room and an ICU. So please don't get into a suite-like scenario where the hospital says, so this is the costliest room, you're at Nariman Point and you have the view of the ocean and, you can bring in 5 people to stay together. Hospital is basically trying to oversell their room. Please get into any other kind of room than suite, because that's the best possible room definition which is there. Normally in retail policies, you will find a 1% of sum insured or a 2% of sum insured, and not on the higher sum insured. So 1% of sum insured for a 5 lakh would be a 5,000 rupees. In Mumbai, it's very difficult to get a room at a 5,000 rupees per day limit. So we have enhanced the room rent limit here, because the room rent restrictions are basically the lower the room rent restriction, you will be paying much higher amount from your pocket, because the concept of proportionate deduction does come in. In this case, we have taken away the concept of proportionate deduction and we have opened up the room. Other than suite, you can get into any other kind of room. Daycare is covered, inpatient hospitalization is covered. The pre-post hospitalization is 30 days and 60 days. So before getting into the hospital, there would be some expenses. Coming back from the hospital, there would be some expenses, so 30 and 60. Hospitalization at home, yes, if it continues up to 3 consecutive days. Ambulance covered, yes, up to 5,000. The wait period. Now the wait period is initial wait period, which is a cooling period, is 30 days, except injury or accident, which is part of IIDA guidelines. And the specific disease and the pre-existing disease wait period is 12 months. So the idea is, when you look at the demo, which will come up on the platform, when you log into your IITMAA portal and choose the super top up plan, and then get into Zopper portal, and where you start declaring your details and data. So please declare all your pre-existing diseases properly. Ensure that you declare everything. The pre-existing disease things that you declare is not going to be the underwriting criteria. The underwriting criteria will only be on the negative list, or the list of those 7 ailments like cancer, kidney, fatty liver up to grade 3 and all, which is basically now coming up on your screen. So please go through this in terms of the critical conditions. This has been widely discussed across so that we could make it as short as possible and as precise as possible. And so there's a brain stroke, chronic kidney disease, heart and lung related, and there's a definition also given in terms of exactly what we are looking at. In case of further queries, you can write to us at the IITMAA the support at Zopper Insurance. So Monica will share that on the chat as well, that email ID. So take a conscious call. If you do not, or and none of your family members have this, so whoever, if the alumni has any of this, alumni cannot come into the program. And if any of the family members of alumni has this, and the rest of the people can come in, only that person will not be able to come in. So next, Monica, if we can move on to, yeah, then I think I will move on to the presentation here again and quickly take you back to where we were talking about. So we talked about the program. Now, there are some typical questions which do come in, and I would want to answer them. And some questions might get repeated in the chat. Will there be a plan expansion in future where we can increase deductible and reduce the premium? Yes, there can be a possibility. If you select an amount of coverage now, say 50 lakhs, can you increase or decrease it? So only increasing of sum insured is allowed and preferred. It is preferred that you do not decrease your sum insured and lower the age, preferably go for a higher sum insured. You will evidently how it happens. We have done it that in the platform. You will see that maybe you can choose a 1 crore sum insured, looking at the rates for you, your wife, your spouse, or your kids. And if you look at parents, maybe so for me, maybe I choose a 1 crore sum insured at a 5 lakh deductible. For parents, maybe I choose a 30 lakh sum insured at a 3 lakh deductible, understanding where they stand on the insurance coverage piece. And everything happens at the click, and then you can see the premiums and get into the program real time. It's a super top up. It allows cashless. Yes, it does allow cashless. It allows reimbursement as well, depending on what mode you would want to use that. Yes, you can claim it for Section 80D tax benefit for the premium that you pay for your immediate family and for the premium that you will pay for your parents. You cannot claim a tax benefit for the premium that you would pay for your parent-in-law. Now, how is the age calculated for family floater? Age of elder member is considered. In case of parents, age of the elder member amongst the parents gets considered. So when you look at the table, that's how. So if my age is say 41, my spouse's age is 38, and my kids are maybe 14 and 15, on the age bracket, the 41 and the 2 adults plus 2 child combination is automatically come in front of you, and you will be able to see the premium. Can I add remove parent-in-laws at a later date? Preferably do not remove anybody. That's the idea, because the idea is to get into the program. Idea is not to get out of the program. And choose those sum insured wisely. Choose higher sum insured for yourself, slightly lower sum insured maybe for your parent and in-laws. And as if you can look at the premiums and you feel that these are also again dirt cheap premiums at higher, please go ahead. Can you buy the policy only for parents? No, it is mandatory. As an alumni, you will have to pick up at least yourself, and then you can move on to purchase for your parents. Now, that being said, I will stop sharing the screen here and quickly ask my tech person out here to quickly showcase the enrollment demo. So this is basically the platform that we will try to showcase here, through which you can get into the program right after this call. It will take 5 minutes for you to click, and then put in all your details, and then get into the program. Make the payment through the payment gateway and get into the program. So 2 conditions, either you declare a pre-existing disease on the pre-existing disease window, or you don't declare. If there is nothing to declare, then it's a single shot policy issuance, and you'll get the policy real time. And if it is something that I have declared that, I have diabetes and hypertension, which is not part of the chronic illness or negative list, or I have high cholesterol, these 3 are very common. So when you put these things like this, it will move into the underwriting bucket. The underwriting will simply check whether whatever you have written is not part of the chronic illness disease, and they will quickly come back and issue the policy in 4 to 5 days. These are the 2 scenarios in which you can come into this. So now you can see that on the IIT Madras Alumni Association portal, that's your starting point. On that, you will have to move on to, you'll have to log in. So first you'll have to log in using the credentials. In this case, it's a demo login that we're using. So login and password you'll have to put in. And then if you look at it, is basically there is an API integration that we have done with the IIT Madras Alumni Association database. So on that, if you go to support, on the support, you will find the super top-up group policy. Once you click on that, it will take you to our portal with a consent that is required. Yeah, can we move on? Monica, can you hear me?
Yeah. Rohit is sharing his screen. I think Rohit, your screen is logged. Can you move back?
Wait.
Yeah, so once we click on the support button, you will find the super top-up health insurance button, and from there we will have to move. So we will wait for Rohit to come up, and meanwhile, as
Wait,
Rohit,
brother. There's some kind of like network issue. Let me just check.
yeah, Rohit, Saurav can do that then. Saurav is also part of the call. If you are in an out of network place.
Now my screen is visible?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. Right.
Yeah, so once you click on the support button after you log in, you click on super top-up group policy. It will take you to the Zopper platform from here. And once you click on join now, you agree to share the information, and data privacy and all is all maintained. So do not worry about that. The question on data privacy did come up. So now this is the first page of the enrollment platform. And the first thing that you would do is you would click on the view list of diseases. These are the list of chronic diseases which are not allowed. And if you want further details on that, you can click on the side button on the right hand side, the I button on the right hand side, and click on that. It will give you an entire detail. It's also there on the brochure. Once you understand what is the negative list, and you confirm that you have read the list of chronic diseases on the button which is on the top left, post that, and then you move on to filling up your details. So primarily you will put in normally the course name and the passing year by default should come in here. You confirm that your name is as per Aadhaar card. If your name is not as per Aadhaar card, please change it accordingly here. Then your check on your date of birth. You might do some check on your mobile number, which might have changed. You might want to put in the correct address, which is not reflecting there. So whatever data is reflecting will get fetched automatically here. But if you want to change anything, you can do that. And then from there, you click on proceed. So as you click on proceed and OK the disclaimer, which comes in from IIT Madras Alumni Association site, this takes you to the policy information repository page and also the login, details page, alumni family page. So in the policy information repository, if you click on that, it gives you details of the brochure, the super top-up FAQs, the rate list. In case somebody wants to have a look at the rate chart, everything is available there. Once you have clicked on and you have all the data, you can go back to the previous page, which was your login page. And here, suppose I choose myself, the alumni, I choose my spouse, and I choose one son, for example, in the first program, and then I proceed in terms of, then I choose maybe my mother, and I choose maybe my father-in-law. For example, this is an abrupt combination I'm just choosing out of the air, and then we click on proceed. So once we click on proceed, it will ask me to fill in the details. So, and it will also ask me the chronic diseases list, whether do any of the members suffer from the chronic disease. Preferably the answer will be no, then only you can proceed. If you click on yes, it will not, the system will not allow you to proceed in the program. Or if you click on yes for any of the family member, that particular family member will not be allowed to proceed in the program. So in this case, once we click no on all, we declare, so you see that pre-existing diseases, box which comes in down below. So maybe hypertension you declare or diabetes you declare, which is one of the pre-existing diseases or two pre-existing diseases that you would want to declare. Once you declare something over there, then you click on proceed, and it will take you to your spouse's details, where Rohit is quickly trying to fill in the spouse's details here. Once you put in the spouse's details, it will ask you for the date of birth. So what you see is everything is digital, everything is, whatever you declare. So insurance is utmost good faith, preferably declare everything, whatever possible here, and as correctly as possible. Any wrong declarations might lead to claim rejections in the future. So again, the box comes up for your spouse. In that case, suppose there is no PED in this case, you do not declare anything, and you move on down below to proceed. And on that now, your son's details to come in. So you fill in your son's details and the date of birth you put in. So it's sort of, putting in the details. And again, your son doesn't have any PED, understandably. And then we move on to your mother. So when the details of mother comes in, so you look at the date of birth, then medical history, you select the chronic illnesses you select. So if anyone has any chronic disease, it will not allow. So you will have to look at declaring it as no. Then on the PED, if you want to do so, normally the parents and the in-laws will have some kind of PED declaration. Do put in everything there, whatever you wish to declare. It will simply get printed across in your policy saying that this is what you have declared. Preferably declare whatever is there. That is what insurance is all about. Then you see that Rohit had clicked that in this case that there was one chronic illness on which he clicked yes. Now you see the system is not allowing the mother in this case of the alumni to proceed in the program. So that is understandable. So now if we move on to father-in-law's details. So father-in-law's details you're putting in, and then you put in the date of birth. Aadhaar card ke saath you are matching it. On the date of birth, you put the correct date of birth, and in the suppose your father-in-law doesn't have any medical history on the chronic diseases, but however he has diabetes and hypertension on the PED, you declare that on the box below, and then you proceed. Now this is a one-time activity, and whatever information you will declare, it will remain saved in your next login. You'll be able to see that. So once you click on OK, it takes you basically to the page where it asks for nominee details. So preferably you put in the nominee details. So this is again something which is required by the insurer. So hence your nominee details come up. Your PAN card details requirement will also come up in the next page. So once you put in all these details, you basically proceed. And this is basically sort of a summary which shows you that you are getting covered, spouse is getting covered, son is getting covered, mother is not getting covered because we had declared one chronic illness for mother, and father is getting covered. So we proceed, father-in-law is getting covered. So we proceed. And here you see this is sort of on the alumni family policy. This is basically, this talks about yourself, this talks about the spouses and the son's age, and basically the gender and everything. Now you look at the sum insured that you can choose. So preferably say I choose 75 lakhs, as maybe on the higher bracket I choose 75 lakhs, and I choose a deductible of 5 lakhs, understanding that I am covered for 5 lakhs for me and my spouse and kids through my employer. So you see look at the kind of premium on which where you look at this. Then you proceed on that. Once you look at the premium, the GST is normally 18%, 18%. So on the final page, you will see the GST also added back. So then you look at your father-in-law's policy. And on the father-in-law's policy, maybe you choose 50 lakhs at a lower deductible of 30. So this is the premium which is coming in without GST. You click on the disclaimer, yes. And then it takes you to the policy summary page. Here it is asking for the PAN card number. You put in the PAN card number as deemed required, and then you proceed to the next page. So as you proceed to the next page, you will be able to, so this is where you see that all the data that you have put in has got synced with the insurer through an API integration, and then this page comes up. Normally, if this page doesn't come up, you can retry because the data is all saved there. This page will eventually come up in your second attempt. This is sort of the payment page and summary page where you do a check on in terms of self, spouse, son, and then the super top up premium for that thing, parent-in-law's policy, the super top up premium, and the GST. and the total premium to be paid, which is roughly here 46,319. Now, when you click again that you confirm that you have understood and everything, you can, and there is a save draft option. If you click on the save draft option, trigger goes to your email that you have registered with. You will have a save draft option there. And you see that monica.cha in this case was the email ID. So a draft goes there. And then once you're okay, you click on confirm. So once you initiate payment, it will take you directly to the payment gateway page from here. So the payment gateway page from here will come up, and here you will be able to make a payment in terms of taking it forward from here. So on the payment gateway page, you will have options to pay through net banking, cards, and all. So that being said, I think what we can do is that from here, we can start taking questions, Nishani. I will take a pause here and pass on the presentation back to you. Nishani, Rakesh, are you able to hear me?
Yes, brother. Okay, here. Yeah.
Yeah. So from here, I think I'll pass on the presentation back to you, and you might want to, ask the chat questions and take it forward from there. We'll answer them one by one. Or should I start picking up the chat question? Yeah.
Yeah. Ms. Vaishali have asked, do you have a list of pre-existing diseases actually? Vaishali, that is there in our portal itself. While you're signing up, you can see the pre-existing diseases in the form.
No, so that is a chronic list, Rakesh, that you're talking about. What Vaishali is saying. So pre-existing disease is anything that your doctor would have written that. So a diabetes is a pre-existing disease, a hypertension, a cholesterol is a pre-existing disease. So whatever your doctor has written as a pre-existing on the prescription ever in your life, please declare that on the pre-existing disease box. That's how it is. If you ask me, we can give you an indicative list, but that is not going to be the only list. So Rakesh, now.
Yeah, she has asked another question. Could you also clarify what is the list of specific diseases?
So list of specific diseases we can share. Monica, just make a note of it. We will come back with the list of specific diseases. Yeah.
Do you also provide a base health insurance policy? It would be more useful product if you could give base plus super top. Yeah.
So Rakesh, you would want to answer that?
Yeah, right now we provide a base insurance from Star Health and super top up from Zoper actually, and future we may think about that.
Right. Next question.
Okay. And is a wife who's breast cancer survivor allowed to be in?
Sorry, I'm not able to understand the question.
A wife who is a breast cancer survivor allowed to be in?
Yeah, and so cancer is basically a part of the negative list. So anybody who would have incurred any kind of cancer will not be able to join the program.
Yeah, and can the deductible be 10,000, the least amount? Yeah, it can be. The least amount we have finalized is 3 lakhs, sir. Yeah.
3 lakhs as a deductible. Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Can spouse and children be added later, in addition to the parents and parents-in-law?
This concept of adding later is something which is very risky in insurance. If you are able to add them today into the program, please do get them added.
Yeah. Is there any copay?
There is no co-payment in the program, even for alumni spouse kid and even for parents and in-laws. There is no co-payment.
If one enrolls today, up to what age the policy will continue?
The policy will continue till the time IIT Madras Alumni Association, runs this program as a sustainable program, and that's why this negative list has come in. So ideally, get yourself into the program, and IIT Madras Alumni Association would intend to run this kind of programs year after year after year.
Yeah, Mr. Deepak Kapoor have asked that today he is 77, and will the policy lapse once he crosses 85?
So 85 is the entry age, Deepak sir. So you can get into the program at 77 at this age. 85 is the entry age. So once you are into the program, it will continue till the program is there.
And Mr. Ravi have asked, I do not have a floater policy. I have one policy for me and one policy for my wife. How do I get a top-up policy for my wife?
So
I'm an alumni and she's not an alumni. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, so for the top-up policy for your wife, you will have to enroll yourself because you are the primary member as an alumni who can get into this program and add her into the program. And this is not dependent, this super topper program is not dependent on you being a part of the, you having any insurance program or you are not having any insurance program. This super topper program has its own policy coverages, which we have talked about. And to add your wife, you will have to add yourself because you are the primary member.
Yeah. And what happens when we develop acute to chronic disease in later stage with the policy cover?
In
Will the
later
policy
stage,
cover?
yeah, once you are inside the program, if you develop any complications, you will still remain to get covered.
And she has asked what is shown in the yearly payment. What is shown is the
Correct.
yearly payment. It is an yearly payment by Shali here.
It is the yearly payment.
Can I start with few family members now and add some members later? I think that has been answered already.
Yeah. So the premiums are very exciting. I would insist get everybody into the program. Yeah, Rakesh.
Yeah. Does the entire amount have to be paid upfront annually, or it can be paid monthly, quarterly? I mean,
It's
this
an
is an
annual
EMI
payment.
which,
Yeah. It's an annual payment and upfront payment.
annual. Yeah. Is it possible to share this document as well? I lost presentation for. I mean, we can share the presentation, Mr. Manish. Yeah. Okay. This policy cannot be migrated, Mr. Shivakumar. This is a separate policy in which this is a super top. It's completely different from the base policy, actually. Yeah. Are dental surgeries covered under the policy?
Dental surgery arising out of an accident will get covered. Anything else which is a cosmetic surgery is not will not get covered.
And would people with a stent for heart blockage previously be eligible to get the policy?
They will not be eligible. If you look at the chronic illness list, there is a portion like this where it says that people with stents and heart blockages will not be able to come into this program.
Yeah. And breast cancer was removed and no radiation or chemo and free of any symptoms now for 5 years. Will she be allowed?
Yeah, we have answered that anybody who has any cancer earlier, in that case, that person will not be allowed.
Yes. What if network hospital not close by when injured? How to claim the reimbursement? In which they can pay and provide the bills, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So Ravi has asked a very interesting question. He says, can the deductible be accumulated over more than one claim or it applies to one claim? So Ravi, the deductible will apply on the policy combination. So if I have chosen alumni spouse kid, a 5 lakh deductible and a 1 crore sum insured, so 5 lakh will apply for as a deductible for my policy. For my parents, if I've chosen a 3 lakh deductible and a 50 lakh sum insured, so their deductible becomes 3 lakh. For parent-in-laws, if I've chosen a 7 lakh deductible and a 50 lakh sum insured, for them the deductible becomes 7 lakh.
Is it allowed to include a parent with arthritis?
Arthritis do not come under the negative list as far as I am aware of that. You can declare this on the pre-existing window.
Yeah. And Mr. Suresh Avas, he lives in US, but his parents and in-laws are in India. Is it possible to have them enrolled in this program without enrolling himself? I don't think that's he's the primary member, right, Mr. Baba?
Yes. So ideally, I am an IIM Bangalore alumnus, and we also did that in IIM Bangalore, where we the people who were staying outside, I understand they do visit India once in a year or twice in a year, and many of them avail medical facilities back in India only because the cost of medical things are higher, much higher in abroad. So preferably take one only for you, not for your family maybe, and then get your parents on board.
And Ms. Uma have asked for the process of reimbursement.
So the reimbursement is simple. You can file through the app, or you can, file a reimbursement form. The Zopper team's helpline will be there to help you out to file a reimbursement.
Any bonus for no claim for a particular
No,
year?
this is not a retail policy. So
Yeah.
all the retail policy kind of gimmicks which are there is not a part. This is a plain and simple and simple policy to get into. No gimmicks here.
Yeah. Mr. Ravi have asked if someone falls ill for 2 times and each bill is 2 lakhs, when I claim for my second bill, can I show the deductible as 3 lakhs and claim the balance? Yeah.
So the deductible, Ravi, is not dependent on what you show. It is dependent on the deductible that you choose while getting into the insurance program. So in your question, if you would have picked up a deductible of 3 lakhs and you say that 2 times and each bill is 2 lakhs, then balance 1 lakh will get paid because deductible of 3 lakhs is to be paid
Yeah.
from either from your other insurance program or through your pocket.
Yeah. Hope that answers you, Mr. Ravi. And Mr. Vasu have asked any indication of what? Okay.
So
For the
Vasu,
premiums
that's
would
a
increase year on year. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good question, but ideally, this is a group policy. It would depend on the claims that we would look at, but what you would appreciate is we have tried to design it in a way that, you will not subsidize for others. The reason being that because there's already a negative list. If there is a negative list, preferably, healthier people would come in and the policy would remain and sustain for a longer period. So yes, premium would increase, but if you ask me to what percentage, it will be difficult to comment. It would be overall on the claims ratio of the thing. But what we have done is we have tried to contain the claims ratio with the kind of product structuring that we have done.
And Dr. Uma have asked how much time the reimbursement gets once the document is submitted. Yeah.
7 to
Time
10
frame
days.
of the reimbursement.
Yeah.
7 to 10
So
days.
what we have to understand is 7 to 10 days from the point where we submit all the documents together. That's what it is, because normally we look at, I submitted one document on day 1. Today is day 10. I have submitted the document today, and I would expect that the reimbursement will happen today. That's where the mismatch happens. If we are able to submit all the documentation, maybe in the first or the second go, it doesn't take more than 5 days. 7 to 10 days is the higher bracket that I'm talking about.
Yeah, and she has asked whether the originals have to be submitted, bills and reports.
Yeah.
If she has already other insurance policies. Yeah.
So if you already have other insurance policy and you have submitted the originals for that, and you want to claim it back here, you have the payment receipt. So you can submit the payment receipt and prove to what extent that has got paid, and the balance can get picked up here.
Okay, and Mr. Srinivasan have asked, he has a super top-up policy for 8 years with no claims in United India. Can that be put
No.
to this? Yeah,
No,
it can't
this
be
is
done.
an IIT Madras Alumni Association group super
Yes.
top-up policy. You can't port from here to anywhere, and you can't port from somewhere to here. You have to avail this program.
Yeah, and Mr. Suresh have asked, the US person, does he need an Indian insurance to avail this top-up plan?
No, you don't need any
I
kind
believe,
of insurance.
yeah, yes.
Yeah.
And Mr. Sridharan have asked, he wants an explanation on deductible actually.
What is the question?
He wants an explanation on deductible.
What is the meaning of
deductible?
What is the meaning of deductible? So deductible, Mr.
Yeah.
Sridharan, is the amount up to which your claim will not trigger. So in the super topper program, you will see there are two things that you will have to choose. One would be the sum insured or the overall coverage that you will have to choose, and the other one is the deductible. So if I choose a coverage of 75 lakhs and I choose a deductible of 5 lakhs, which means that my coverage is 75 lakhs, but up to 5 lakhs, this particular program will not trigger. Either we pay it from our pocket or pay it from some other insurance program. Beyond 5 lakhs, this program is going to take up.
Yeah, Ms. Uma have asked on when should they inform Zoper about the hospitalization, and within the time, what time frame they should inform you?
So
earlier,
so how the intimation happens here, Umaji, is that some hospitalization will happen and the hospital will ask whether you have insurance papers. So primarily, you will have to submit your insurance e-cards, which you will receive along with the program, along with the policy documents. You submit it at the hospital, and then they will only trigger the cashless request. In case you want to trigger a reimbursement request, do get in touch with these opera associates. They'll help you.
Okay. Can we claim for the negative inclusion list if one happens to develop later?
Yeah.
That is possible, and Mr. Bodhan have informed that earlier also, that whatever has been developing after the policy can be claimed here.
Correct.
Okay. And how long will this program continue? This will continue as long as possible, Mr. Gopal. Yeah. And stint done 12 years ago will be considered. Yeah. Just a minute. I'm sorry about that. Okay, stint done 12 years ago will be considered negative. Yes, he asked.
Yeah, it's part of the negative list.
Is deductible applicable for each bill of a year, or once the deductible is crossed the first bill, all the subsequent bills will be covered? All the subsequent bills will be covered, Mr. Sendal.
That's the
there a
benefit
waiting
of
period?
the Super Topper program.
Okay. And is there a waiting period? I remember there being a 2-year waiting period when we took a policy for my mom. Hence this question. Yeah.
So this policy
Although
has a 1-year
yeah.
wait period.
Do we have to wait for the payment receipt to be provided from the base claim provider to be able to claim from this program? I
You
think
will
the
have
bill
to
from
submit.
the hospital should be. Yeah.
Yeah, you will have to submit the payment receipt.
Yeah. Star Health has a super top-up facility of its own. How is it different from your packages?
Please do the comparison yourself. This is a much better program in comparison to any retail program from any other insurer. I can only tell you that.
Okay, if hospital bill is 20 lakhs and under the base policy 2 lakh is deductible, and we take 20 lakhs super topper, what gets paid?
So if the hospital bill is 20 lakhs and under base policy 2 lakh is covered, what is the deductible, Ravi, that you have chosen here? Can you tell me? What is the deductible?
20 lakhs super top up. 20 lakhs super top up. Yeah.
But what is
He has
the
taken
deductible in
a
the program?
2 lakhs. He's asking, he's telling an example actually, 2 lakhs deductible.
So 3, 5, 7, and 10 is the examples that we should take here, Rakesh, because that is what we have in the program as deductible.
Exactly.
So suppose we say that 3 lakhs is the deductible and the hospital bill is 20 lakhs, then in that case, for a 20 lakh super top up, straight away 17 lakhs should get paid, because 20 minus 3, 17 will get paid.
And will the premium be revised every year?
I have answered this question. This is dependent on the group claims.
Yeah. And yeah, we don't have, I mean, we came to the end of our questions,
Right, great. So I think we are in good time. We still have 5 minutes left before we, close the session today. In case of any other questions, please feel free to come up, speak, or else we will do the closing note.
Okay, one more question is here. How cashless is done in a network hospital when the deductible amount is covered by another base policy?
Good question, Senthil. So normally you will avail a cashless when the amount goes really high because of the super top up, coming into the picture. The hospital themselves will ask for your hospital documents, and there are umpteen number of cases where multiple cashlesses can go because of the high sum insured. However, suppose if your bill amount is say 5 lakhs and you have paid 4 lakhs, and you might want to avail a super top up here, the hospital might not be interested and say, sir, you pay and then you claim it at the reimbursement. But in case of normally higher bills upwards of 5, 7, 10 lakhs, the hospital themselves will come and ask, do you have any other additional insurance program? And we want to trigger the cashless from everywhere. And in that case, the second insurance company will approach the first insurance company and understand how much has been paid, and the balance gets picked up.
Thanks, Godayan. And Ms. Uma asked whether the annual checkups are allowed. Cashless annual medical checkups. Yeah.
There is no medical checkup in this program.
And Mr. Suresh, we are live streaming this on our YouTube, so it will be available in our YouTube channel actually. And can you show a chart of premium payable for various deductible amounts?
Yes, it is available, but yes, if you want to have a look, it is available at the repository. It is available, everywhere. So it is there. You can, have a look at that.
We can share that. Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. Annual, I mean, we don't have any annual checkups.
Yeah.
Sure. Any other questions? Yeah. I think we are at the end of it. I've already enrolled and got the draft till when it is valid for payment of premium. Yeah. I've already enrolled and got the draft till when it is valid for the payment of premium. I think this is till 23rd of August.
Yeah.
Within
but
that,
Mr.
you have to pay
Srinivasan,
Mr. Change.
Yeah, but Mr. Srinivasan, my idea is that get into the program at the earliest. Don't wait for the last date because you don't gain anything. You only waste another month wherein your pre-existing diseases next year will be over only after a month. And that's when you will start actually coming into the claim. If you are able to get the policy today, get it today.
Mr. Ravi have asked number of claim incidents. He wants the number of claim incidents actually. Yeah.
Can be any. There is no limit on number of claim incidents.
Okay. Mr. Sai, we don't have a base policy with Zoper actually. You can only choose the super topper policy on the portal, and you can choose the base policy with Star Health if you want to take it up with IITMAA. Yeah. Or accidents cover. Yes, it is covered,
Yes.
Mr. Srinivasa. Yes.
So accidents are actually covered from day one. You don't even have to wait for the cooling period of 30 days. They are covered from day one. Right. I think
Yes.
we are
Yeah, we can
almost on the
close.
verge of time. Yeah. Over
Yeah.
to you, Rakesh Nishani, for the closing note.
Thank you so much, Mr. Baudan and the Zoper team, and you answered each and every question so patiently, and I think this is very informative for our alumni as well. And we hope this program goes off really successfully, and we are happy to tie up with Zoper on this.
Thank you so much, Rakesh. Thanks so much, Nishani. So only thing, to the entire audience, which is so patiently hold on till now, you get an option to get into this program. Please get into it, and today. Don't wait. Don't wait. Anything might happen. Anything might come up in terms of, any negative illnesses. And even if nothing comes up, what happens is that you still waste a month to get into the program. Normally, we Indians have a habit of getting into things only at the last minute. My request is the platform is working fine. Right after this, get into the program. If you feel like getting into it, buy it today. Make the premium payment today and get into the program. Get hold of the policy because the policy issuance is real time. In case of non-PED, you will get the policy today itself. And in case of a PED declaration, the underwriter will run a small check and quickly get that. You will get the policy in 4 to 5 days. Don't wait for the last minute. Get into the program. It's a fantastically designed program. The age brackets that we have brought in, the family definition that we have brought in, the room rent definition that we have brought in, the high sum insured that we have brought in. This has a lot of positives into this. And also you are not subsidizing for anybody else and hence the negative risk. So please get into this program and get your family members in. That's the closing note.
Thank you so much, Mr. Baudan. Yeah.
Right. Thanks. Have a nice
Thanks.
evening.
Thank you.
Thanks all. Thanks.